Greetings, everyone here in this holidays around the world. My name is João Paixão. I'm very pleased to represent Brazil in the Vila Olimpia English Toastmasters Club in this event, Holidays Around the World. Let's make Toastmasters big. Let's put this community all together in the same event. Let me share some words about what is Brazil concerning to Toastmasters. Brazil is a very recent district. This is D111. Our first club started in 2007 in Del Toastmasters at Porto Alegre, and now we are 32 clubs around the world, and this number is increasing day by day. We are soon reaching the magic number of 60 clubs only inside our country. And Vila Olimpia is a distinguished club since 2013 when it was founded. We have today 30 members, the first club in English-speaking language inside Brazil, and one of the few here in São Paulo, Brazil. We're based inside Amazon, and we have almost all the team here to represent our country very well and have a great meeting. Guys, without further ado, I'd like to pass the word to the person who will take the baton as the Toastmaster of this session. And it could be any other than our Vice President of Public Relations, Raquel Rodrigues. Raquel, the stage is yours, and a big round of applause to you.
Well, and thank you everybody for this opportunity. It's one amazing honor to have you all from around the world and having shared this experience with fellow Toastmasters from Africa, from Asia, from America, North America, from north to South Europe as well. Thank you very much. Some ground rules just for us to start. For the ones who were in the meeting before, you learned that I am a very organized person, and I try to be. So whenever you're not speaking, I request for you to mute your audio. It will definitely help for the experience in the meeting. And also for the ones who are having roles today, please remember to unmute when you start speaking, and also try to pin our timer. I will present her in a bit, but it will be important for you to keep our agenda organized and in pace. Well, the theme of today's meeting is actually holidays throughout the world, and I'm going to speak about year-end holidays in Brazil. As you can see from my background, I'm going to start speaking a little bit about Christmas in Brazil. And I was thinking, well, we have so many influences from around the world, especially from our north side of the planet. But the main difference of Christmas in Brazil is that we are a tropical country. We are on the south. So Christmas actually happens at summer in Brazil. So we don't have fireplaces. And even though Santa comes with his usual clothes, we are gathered more on the heat of the summer rather than the cold. But nevertheless, we also have turkey, we have French toasts as like usual food that we have, and we gather with our family. So I guess it's very similar similar to other countries' experience. Now, moving on to our agenda. I will actually share the file via chat as well, so you can follow up on the events. But we have three main sections to this meeting. We have first, prepared speeches. Secondly, table topics, which is impromptu speeches, and afterwards, evaluation. I'm your Toastmaster, but I'm actually supported by several people actually from around the world who were very nice, very kind to support us with their experience. And I'd like to call them now to explain their roles. First of all, I'd like to call our timer, Jennifer Ferguson. Can you please explain your role?
Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity. I bring greetings from the amazing She Leads, She Speaks Toastmasters Club in District 36, Maryland, USA. My role today as timer for the prepared speeches. I will be timing. Oh, sorry. What is happening? I am sorry. It keeps covering my video. Okay. For example, if the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, at 5 minutes, I will turn on the green. At 6 minutes, I will turn on the yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will turn on the red. And I would leave it on until the speaker finishes speaking. The speaker, when they see the red light, they would know that they have 30 seconds in which to wrap up. Similarly, for the table topics, which is 1 to 2 minutes, I will show the green on 1 minute. 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will show the yellow. And 2 minutes, I will show the red. And the speaker would have 30 seconds in which to wrap up. For the evaluations, which is 2 to 3 minutes, at 2 minutes, I would turn on the green light. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will turn on the yellow light. And 3 minutes, I will turn on the red light. And the speaker would have 30 seconds in which to wrap up his or her evaluations. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer, you also recall me of another best practice is to put, for the people who have roles in this meeting today, just put before your name what your role is going to be, because this will guide, especially for table topics, so we can know who are the people who are eligible to be called and not. So it would be very beneficial. Also, if you want to put your district, it's very interesting for this meeting, so we know where you come from.
Thank you.
Very much.
I do identify myself with timer, District 36 USA. Is this?
Yes, that's amazing, Jennifer. You're the example to be followed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move on to our grammarian, Lucas Teshima from our club from Vila Olimpia. Can you please introduce your role and the word of the day?
Sure, Raquel. Thanks a lot. So good evening, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Don't know where you're from. Today I'll be the grammarian, which is the responsible for keeping the track of good use of language and also opportunities of improvement. Quite a challenge with so many native speakers from all over the world here, but anyways, let's move on. The word of the day will be a Brazilian cliche, especially on Instagram, and it's gratitude or grateful, which is the feeling or quality of being grateful or showing thanks to someone. For example, I'm so grateful for all you have done, or after 2020, we felt grateful just to be alive. So I hope everybody do a thumbs up when the word of the day is used. And thank you very much. Let's have a great meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you very much. Also, whenever we change roles, since we don't have the gavel on an online speech, on an online meeting, we usually clap our hands like this or like this, but with your audios muted, so we can point out the exchange of the word, okay? Now, for our next role, I would like to call Victor Chaves, our general evaluator, to speak a little bit about his role and what he expects from the meeting.
Thank you, Raquel. Sure. Thank you, everybody. Good evening, afternoon, morning to all of you. My name is Victor. I'm going to be the general evaluator for this slot. And my role for today is to evaluate the meeting as a whole, how it's going, but also to provide feedback for roles which don't usually have somebody to provide feedback for them on. So Toastmaster, evaluators, the grammarian, the accountant, etc. And also another role which I'll take is the video and chat monitor. I'll try to pay attention to everybody's webcams and audio, try to provide some feedback to maybe help you guys improve on your video skills, especially during such a virtual time that we're facing. It's my pleasure to be in such an international meeting. A bit anxious, of course, to have 120 people watching my every word, but it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victor. And last but not least, we have our accountant, Trisha Fujo. Are you here with us, Trisha?
Yes, I'm here, Raquel. Hello, everybody. Greetings from São Paulo, Brazil. Good morning or afternoon or evening, according to the place you're from. Today, I will be the encounter, and I will be listening for overused words, filler words, or even sounds like and I will report the numbers of times that each speaker will use these expressions during the speeches. And I hope we can have a great time today. And I'm also feeling so grateful for being part of this global experience with all of you. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Trisha. And now, without further ado, we move on to the fun part, to the prepared speeches. And our first speaker is going to be Cibele Sampaio. She's going to be evaluated by our own Sophia Assis. Sophia, can you introduce Cibele?
Good evening, everyone. Good morning. So today I'm really grateful to be presenting Cibele Sampaio. She joined Toastmasters here in São Paulo in May of 2020, and she's doing the Leadership Development Pathway. Today, she will be talking a little bit about why is diversity important, a really nice topic. So I'm really excited to see how she will be doing this night. So the stage is yours, Cibele. Good luck.
Why is diversity important? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. I feel really grateful for being here today to give my speech to you. We all know that every company has an important social role, right? In a society with so many cultural differences, it is important that organizations develop a mature behavior to face those differences. Diversity in the work environment is a factor that deserves a lot of attention and that can generate a number of benefits if you develop a good approach to that. What does diversity mean in the workplace? Our society is highly diverse. There are various ethnicities, people with disability, LGBTQIA+, men, women, nationalities, so it is not possible to close our eyes to these varieties. It is necessary to accept professionals as they are and encourage learning with differences. Diversity in the work environment means the organization's development of a mature behavior in the face of the plurality of our society. It means welcoming employees and their differences and supporting inclusion and tolerance of cultural differences. What is the importance of diversity in the organization, you must be asking? I'll give you 5 reasons for that. The first one, to achieve better results. Because the work environment is cooperative, stimulating, and welcoming. So employees feel more motivated and engaged to carry out their activities. Everyone works better and more effectively. For example, according to McKinsey, companies with high rate of racial diversity are 35% more likely to achieve above average results in the industry. The second reason, conflict reductions. In organizations where there is a culture of respect for diversity, conflicts are less recurrent. The policy of respect and tolerance stimulates the ability to listen and seek for agreements of professionals. The third reason, decreased turnover. When there is a lot of exclusion in a team due to difficulties to deal with differences, it is common that some team members prefer to quit their jobs. Intolerant teams tend to have a high turnover rate because professionals do not realize exclusion. With a diverse group that welcomes differences, employees feel much safer and more welcomed, and it contributes to a sense of belonging. That said, the turnover rate is much smaller in the company. The fourth reason, to increase creativity in the environment. In an environment that values differences and places diversity as an element that adds to the business, employees feel that they have more freedom to have authenticity at work. It also provides conditions for new ideas to circulate among the team. Professionals are more engaged and creative, ready to unleash their potential. And the fifth reason is to improve the company image. A corporation that values diversity is fulfilling its social role. It is a posture of responsibility towards society. And learning about differences that employees have in the company is widespread in a social environment by professionals themselves. When they go out to other spaces, they reproduce the learning about the differences inside the company, and they become example for other people. Now you must be asking, but how do I foster and encourage diversity and inclusion within company? By creating inclusion programs, for example. As they are a great alternative to promote employee engagement. Many professionals defend the cause, but they do not find room in their common jobs to demonstrate that. With affinity groups or even programs, the organization has only to gain. These collectives can strengthen the relationship between employees, increase the sense of belonging, and can also be a space for productive debates that can help the company to have, that they can help company to promote continuous improvement. Another way to foster diversity is making volunteer programs, as they can be an excellent factor in contributing to a policy of acceptance of diversity in the workplace. The accomplishment of these actions enables interactions with different groups in a context outside the company. Additionally, your team has the opportunity to develop features such as empathy and respect. Volunteer programs can also be a very positive experience for the relationship between the professionals, strengthening the sense of team and acceptance of each individual's differences. Diversity in the work environment is key to a learning about respect and tolerance, but it also favors processes, improving team interaction, increasing the quality of life, and stimulating acceptance among peers. Teams that bet on this learning have a number of benefits, as already mentioned, such as better results and greater cooperativity. Now I think that we all know why diversity is important. But what about you? Would you like to be in a more diverse and inclusive environment? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sibeli, for an inspiring and very applicable speech to our day-to-day experiences. Now, I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to provide feedback to Sibeli. Feedback is very important for us in Toastmasters, for us to evolve, for us to always get better. So our timer, Jennifer, can you please put 30 seconds on the clock? And everyone could provide feedback via the chat. And see, what's your favorite thing about Christmas in Brazil?
I believe that is getting together with my family and have delicious food.
Very nice, very nice. Jennifer, how are we with time?
We have used 23 seconds.
Perfect. Now we move on for our second prepared speech. and it's going to be delivered by Enzo Bernardinelli. Enzo is going to be evaluated by Stephen Cirello. He's a member of a club in Las Vegas and several other countries, so we are very grateful to have him. Stephen, are you with us?
Yes, Madam Toastmaster, thank you. And hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, Toastmaster Enzo will be speaking from the Pathways Leadership Development Series. This is speech number 3, Evaluation and Feedback. The purpose of this speech is for members to demonstrate that they have applied the feedback received from their first speech. The title of Enzo's speech is Observe and Get Inspired. The end is the new beginning, 5 to 7 minutes. Welcome, Enzo.
Thank you, Stephen, for the warming welcome, and good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here speaking in this very important day with you. And I'd like to start asking all of you some questions in order to reflect a little bit. Do you know that according to the United Nations, every year we dump more than 2 billion tons of waste? It accounts for around 270 tons per person. Do you know that we are throwing in the ocean 1 load truck of plastic per minute? In that rate, by 2050, it will exist more plastic in the ocean than fish. This stunning amount of waste is partly because 99% of the stuff we buy is trashed within 6 months. These facts are the results of 2 connected things. First, our economic system and our behavior. Let's talk about the first one, the economic system. Its main pillar is the production system, and it has been developed based in a format of linear production, characterized by the take, make, and waste. And when we add the ruthless stimulus that we receive every moment to consume and buy things that in many cases we don't even have the real necessity to buy them, we have a recipe for our own extinction and many other species. We can question ourselves why there is such pressure for consumption every moment and everywhere. I will give you a quick and broad answer. Growth. Everything is measured by how much growth it has experienced in the last period of analysis. For countries, GDP, to companies, revenue. And furthermore, we also look by how much it's forecasted to grow in the next period. We are not satisfied with the previous one. We are always trying to get more and more and more. But has anyone ever wondered if it is possible to our economy grow forever? Or does anyone know something that can grow forever? Particularly, I don't know. At the same time, we are worried by the growth of everything, especially the monetary one. And we take for granted many natural resources, including those essential for life, like clean water and pure air. We are consuming our natural resources at the rate of 1.8 times the capacity that Earth can regenerate itself, just to meet the growth targets. But we easily forget that we are almost destroying our planet by doing this. Do you think that is correct? Or is it the right thing to do? All of this happens because we are stuck in the old and simplistic economic model of production and consumption. But how can we find a way out of this trap? First, we need to free ourselves of the preconception that is taught to us and question the status quo. I mean, our behavior. Second, we should search for alternatives to replace our system, our economic system. And for that, we have a huge source of knowledge and information, the mother nature. Yes, the same that we are destroying. The mother nature histories got tangled with the earth itself. It has been evolving throughout the time. We just need to observe and get inspired by. Doing this, we discover that in nature, the end of something is the beginning of something else. Nothing is lost. Everything is connected. Once we realize this, it becomes clear that we are doing exactly the opposite. We are not connecting the end with the beginning. We are not going circular. Our production system is extracting natural resources and adding value throughout the chain until get to the consumer, who, after consuming it in an astonishing rate, simply throw away in the landfills. The value that was added now is lost. To solve this problem, the concept of circular economy was created. It basically tries to keep the value of something at the maximum, being through repair, reuse, refurbish, remanufacture, and recycle. Some examples of this model include, well, instead of buying a new blender, why don't you try to repair our old one? Why don't we design products in order to enable them to be refurbished or remanufactured or recycled? And why do not source for renewable and recycle materials as input for production instead of just go in the nature and extract raw materials? Doing this, we open a wide variety of opportunities for new business, new jobs, and the best. We reduce the pressure on the nature and its extremely important resources to life. Allied with this new production model, we also need to change our consumption behavior. I know that it's hard to do, but if we ask ourselves before each purchase, if we really need something and what impact it has in the nature, we can do better choice and start to reshape our consumption behavior. First step forward is to bear in mind the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle, specifically in this order. And the second step is to act in favor to transform our linear production into circular production. To conclude, I invite all of you to observe and get inspired by who has created us. Go circular and rethink your daily habits. And finally, I wanted to say that I'm very grateful for this planet, this house, our home. Let's preserve our home. It's the only one that we have. Join with me in this journey into circular economy. Thank you very much.
Amazing speech, Enzo. Thank you very much. And now we move to our feedback round. Jennifer, can you please once again count 30 seconds on the clock so everyone can provide feedback via the chat?
Yes.
Perfect. So Enzo, actually, there are people in the chat that were actually supporting you for president of the next round. How do you see the next year with you?
Well, yes. Well, I always try to see the glass half full. So I always trying to improve everything. I try to see the things optimistically, and that's why I engaged this journey to going through circular economy, because I think it's a must. We need to change everything. The world is collapsing. We need to do something. the nature itself, the weather is very, crazy. In Brazil, we have been facing several fires. And it is not from this year. It has been we have been going through this along the past years, and we need to do something. We need to change, and that's I invite you all to come with me and let's try to do something.
Perfect. Thank you very much for this message. And enjoy your feedbacks in the chat. And now we move on to our last prepared speech of the afternoon, which will come from João Cortial, our president, and he will be evaluated by Karen White. Karen, can you please introduce João's speech? Sorry.
It is my honor to introduce the next speaker. João Cortial is currently the club president for his Toastmasters club. And although he and I have never met, nor have we even talked to each other, I already know that he is a tremendous asset to his club because of his proactive steps in reaching out to me once I had been assigned into this evaluator role. This is his last speech for his DTM project. And the purpose of this project is for him to demonstrate his skills as a leader and a public speaker. He is also to share some aspect of his experience in completing this project. The title of his speech is Feedback Masters. And with a grateful heart, I am welcoming João Cortial.
To lead volunteers is a very different thing than leading in a normal company. I don't know if any one of you had the experience before to lead volunteers inside Toastmasters, outside Toastmasters. I can tell you it's something completely different, but it takes you for life. Fellow Toastmasters, honorable guests on holidays around the world, my name is João Cortial, and I just have passed through a wonderful experience about leading a volunteer team. But let's go back almost a year ago. A big colleague of mine called me and said, João, let's start a new business. Why not do we put our efforts, our knowledge about communication, leadership, we have tons of experience on that. Why not we start something together? And I say, you know what? I'll buy it. And then we passed all the start of 2020, projecting, planning, and just before Carnival, which was in February, we made our first prototype of a workshop for 15 people about feedback, which was one of my favorite themes. It was a high success, but you know what? In March, what happened? Yes, COVID-19. And all the projects were shut down. We had to replan everything. Moving forward, continuing with my track, I had the opportunity to do my DTM project, which is not yet DTM level. I wish I would so. But in this project, I had to lead a team. And why not to take back that project, take back that workshop and make it bigger, make it better. And why not put people to learn more about feedback? I had a meeting with the District 111 Foreign Quality Director, my area director, and he said, yes, we all agreed to have a workshop about feedback. But make it better, make it bigger. Not 15 people, at least 40 people, 60 people. Wow. Second thing, you have only 2 months to do that. Yes, it was in a hurry. So for 2 months to do so, I need to have a good team from the start. Team that people that I really could count with all my past experience with Toastmasters, but people that really knew what to do in terms of her skills. So for example, I had 3 people only for content, only for putting the agenda on form, to set activities, only for the program itself. 1 person for design, 1 person for IT, so Zoom Master, platform like Eventbrite, certificates, everything that would concern to IT. And 1 more for product management. I had to set up small group to have people to work with me. First station of the day. You volunteer in your organizations. You have people to work with you, not for you. I'm always a servant leader. I like to make people knew they are important, make people knew how can contribute. So my position was, okay, I have already something for us to work with, but you are 100% free to put whatever suggestion you want. And I have to tell you, I mentioned the challenge was to make it bigger. We have before a project with 15 people. Can you imagine how many? 40 people were there. And the results were astonishing. They praised a lot the content, they learned a lot, they thought about, they learned, they knew about feedback. Oh, I'm Toastmaster for 1 to 2 years, I practice every single day that, but still they had many things to do, many things to improve. And that's what I wanted to share with them. So the project was a success. But why, how João Conchal left this project as a better leader? The first one, my lessons learned. The first one, remember, people work with you, not for you. So recognize the participations, recognize, ask them feedback, and put them inside the group to know that what they should do, what they should deliver. The second thing, have someone only to be a project manager. It sounds simple, but it makes a ton of difference to plan things better, to put things on schedule and perspective, what should be prioritized, what should be not, make the agenda go. Remember, 2 months to do everything. And this guy he nailed that. We made a Kanban on a Trello, we knew everything we should do, we scheduled all the meetings we should have with the team, it worked perfectly. But lesson number 2, have always a backup for every single role you have. Remember that guy, project management? He disappeared. On the second meeting, he stopped answering any single message. And yet, compromise our project. We could have our delivery much better. And we had that situation we all know. We start our projects very calmly, things will go smooth, and in the end, you are not in a hurry. But yes, we deliver. And for me, as a servant leader, as I am, as someone that wants to recognize people that work with me, not for me, I really, really went to every single club of them to say thank you, to appreciate their effort, to really share the words for all their colleagues, how important was their participation, how important for them is to making productivity, taking parts of projects inside Toastmasters. Toastmasters is wonderful, you may attest that. So I went to every single club, personally, or sending a video when I could not, sharing a photo of this person to really say thank you, and people get inspired with them, follow their steps. They are leaders in the same way. I'm here to build leaders. I'm not here to have people working for me. I want to have people working with me. That's how we make successful projects. That's how we make the difference within this world. If you know at least this thing from my speech, I'm more than glad to share my words. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, João, for this inspiring speech and for the inspiring action that brought your speech. Everybody, we have now our round of feedback, well-deserved feedbacks that João will receive. So please, Madam Timer, can you please put 30 seconds on the clock?
Will do.
Thank you. And João, how are you planning throughout this situation to have your year-end holidays?
God bless it. It went as smooth as I could ever imagine. So now I have my family. My family lives a big far from what I do. When they're coming here to visit me, it will be my first time doing a Christmas evening inside my house. So it's gonna be a very happy moment.
Amazing, very nice. Also, everybody, just reminding you of our word of the day, grateful. We are so grateful for having you here, and we are grateful for you to use and expand your vocabulary by putting the word of the day in use. Thank you very much. Madam Timer, can you please state the report for our speakers?
Thank you. Once again, I am grateful for this opportunity. Speaker number 1, she spoke for 5 minutes and 48 seconds. Speaker number 2, Enzo, spoke for 7 minutes and 19 seconds. And Joa, speaker number 3, spoke for 6 minutes and 58 seconds.
Perfect. So everyone eligible for their for being voted?
Yes, everyone spoke within their 5 to 7 minute time frame.
Sorry, João delivered in how much time? Sorry, it's because his time range was a little bit different.
6 minutes and 58 seconds.
So João, you haven't reached your minimum time, if
Yes,
I stand corrected.
I know, but since I got the green yellow signs, I was having her pinned.
Okay.
Control.
Okay, so let's move forward. Mr. Vote Counter, Lucas, can you please put the link for the voting in the chat so everyone can vote?
Rachel, I just shared it on the chat. So please go to Slido and vote if you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Madam Timer, can you please put 1 minute on the clock so we can move forward with the voting?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. So is everyone voting? Perfect. So we reach 1 minute, Jennifer?
I'm sorry, I should have explained I was doing it in 30, 45 and segments.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we still have 15 seconds, right?
Yes.
Perfect. So people, go ahead and vote. We have a few seconds left. And now we have reached the red range and I already have a winner. Thank you very much for everyone who voted. I'm now closing the poll. And we will move forward to a break. So please, we're gonna have a 10-minute break. So please feel free to grab a cup of tea and to do, well, to relax a little bit. We will be coming back at 4:51 GMT time. And for the Brazilian speakers, 1:51 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody.
Madam Toastmaster, how would you like the lights displayed? 5, 7, and 10, or 5, 8, and 10?
Sorry? 5.
How would you like me to display the lights, or just the red when it's 10 minutes?
Yeah, just the red when it's 10 minutes. I think it would be okay. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome. Okay.
So perhaps if anyone that wants to stay, they want to learn something about our Toastmasters or Brazil, we are more than happy to share some words.
Perfect, João. Thank you for volunteering.
Jose?
Yeah, Todd, we can hear you.
I was going to ask you, do you have a handout, or did you record the presentation that you gave for the evaluation workshop? Because I'm also a district winner from District 61. And one of the things we do here is whenever we've had a winner from any of the contests, we make them do a training piece about how they do things so that they can teach other Toastmasters their skills and ways to then help elevate everybody at the same time. So I was wondering, did you record it, or did you come up with any great teaching pieces that you can share either to everybody or to potentially me, myself, and if you want, I can actually drop in the webinar that I created on what I call Todd's secret sauce to evaluations into the chat line, and everybody can take a look at it. If they want the handout, they can email me and I'll send them the handout that goes along with it.
Yeah, we have pleasure to have your work, Todd. And about my program, it was only recorded, but only for my evaluation purpose, because it was almost 100% activities. So it won't be very good for sharing. People will not understand what the dynamics were. But for sure, for me, it would be a big pleasure to go to another district, to go inside the clubs and share some knowledge. We are inside a community. We are in the same group of people. That's how we grow. I learned a lot in this community. All my colleagues learn every single day with their experience. I bring that, and for me it's a pleasure to, if I can share with you inside your club, I will be more than happy.
Excellent. I have a motto: each one teach one. So I like the way you gave your presentation. You had really good centering, which inside the frame of your video. So keep up the good work.
All together. Anyone would like to make any comments about the meeting, about Brazil, about Toastmasters? I'm more than happy.
Hi, everyone. This is my first Toastmasters meeting. So I'm very grateful to be here, and I would like you guys to explain a little bit about Toastmasters. And I just see how you do all the evaluation, and I found it very interesting. I was looking for a group that shares knowledge about leadership and how to speak, and that's all I would like to know a little bit, if you can explain.
Raquel, you, me?
Who better than you, João? You are our president. Go ahead.
Okay, no worries.
Aisa, so welcome. So welcome. Glad to have you here.
Yes. Thank you,
Yes, welcome indeed. I believe you're in Brazil in the same as well, right?
Sorry?
Are you in Brazil?
Yes, I'm in Brazil. São Paulo, yes.
Okay, good. So you're more than welcome to join Olimpia's meeting. So in a few words, what is Toastmasters all about? We are a non-profit organization throughout the world, as you see it very well, with more than 140 countries, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this number is increasing day by day. They're all shared within clubs worldwide, so you always join a club and you are part of this network. It's a non-profit organization and it's a positive, friendly environment. So here is a place that you can really develop your foster your communications and your leadership skills. Simple as that. You can have clubs in English, like my club, the Olimpia. You can have clubs in your local language. So we have in Brazil clubs in Portuguese. You can have clubs whatever language you may prefer. But always we are targeting to build communication and leadership skills.
Okay, thank you very much, João.
So you're more than welcome. We can share with you later our agenda, and whoever is here, regardless if you are a member, a Toastmaster member, you are not, you want to visit Vila Olimpia or another clubs in Brazil, please, you're more than free to share with us some experience and have lots of fun. That's why we are here.
Thanks.
So guys, we still have some time. Since our timer did not send us some red light. Anyone would like to make a comment, a question? To go on the speeches? Please feel free. We're a place that people love to talk. Don't be shy.
I just want to give you kudos for an excellent explanation of what Toastmasters is to a first-time guest, and what a special meeting you've decided to attend, Reza, as well. A meeting of Toastmasters from around the world. I myself am in very near Vancouver, Canada, and I know there's fellow Canadians, folks from the US, and I'm sure many other countries around the world on the line today. So great job, Joel, in explaining the Toastmasters and what we're all about.
Thanks a lot for your kind words, Michael. And that's how I try to perfect as much as we can about how to talk about things that we love, like Toastmasters. Simple as that. So our timer, how much time do we have left?
We had 6 minutes and 27 seconds.
Oh, still
now 30 seconds.
And counting. So I believe there's still time for a comment or question.
You have a question.
Yes, Susan, greetings.
How did you achieve your DTM in such a short period of time? That, to me, that's just astonishing.
Yes, just to clarify, my project took only 2 months. Not only, but really it was tough. I started in Toastmasters in 2017, October 2017, and with the change pathways, I had already a district management role. I was already a club role, so I was planning a lot in advance. So when I started taking my paths, I knew already the projects I would like to take. I knew even when I started the second path, I already knew even to the last level the projects I would like. That's an advice I share with you. Plan in advance. That's how you can make things go forward, and enjoy the show, enjoy the experience. Not only rush to have an accomplishment, but enjoy the experience, enjoy the learning experience that you already have.
Perhaps I can offer one little tip that maybe our speaker used in getting his DTM so quickly, and you might want to use it in pathways. Now that International is giving you a free path, if you re-enrolled, you could have up to 2 paths. So if you do one path from A to Z, 0 like levels going to 5, and then stack them going to 5 the next one, and do everything like that, linearly, it's going to take a lot longer. If you do 2 paths at the same time and you zigzag them back and forth, you can accomplish more in a shorter period of time by stacking. At the same time, if you get on the leadership track of your club or the district, you will be able to accumulate those credits, which take a longer time at the same time that you are doing your communication pieces. And this will shorten your distance to the DTM designation, which stands for Distinguished Toastmaster. Like in the old system and the legacy path, which some people will relate to, I used to always tell people, if you're going to do your bronze, your silver, or your gold, find one of the 15 manuals that you can get your incremental successes quickly, and one that challenges you. So that way, if you get stuck, your momentum doesn't get stuck, because by momentum, you keep moving forward. If you get stuck, it kind of takes the air or wind out of your balloon. I would recommend that if you're new, perhaps thinking about presentation mastery as your first path, because that is the one most similar to the old legacy program, and people don't like change. Then find one that challenges you, maybe the humor, the leadership, or coaching, teamwork, or one of the other ones that will give you the stretch goals for your work or your personal life. And by doing that, you will see you in the 1% of the Toastmasters.
Thank you for the advice. I appreciate it.
The guy really sounds like a radio narrator. That's perfect. Thanks a lot for the explanation, Todd. And our timer still have some time left.
9:57 and counting. 9:59 and 10 minutes is up now. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jennifer. And back to you, Raquel. The show's yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joel. So, for our second holiday in Brazil, I'd actually would like to speak about the New Year's Eve. Well, I think New Year's Eve may be quite similar throughout the world, but I'm showing here in my background a picture of the New Year's Eve in Rio de Janeiro. So we have amazing fireworks, actually world record breaking fireworks that are shown in New Year's Eve. And it's one amazing spectacle that they put up every year. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have so many people gather around like that this year, possibly, but it's definitely a very great party to attend in Brazil. And one curiosity about New Year's Eve here, we usually, in terms of food, we usually like to eat lentils and grapes because they are supposed to bring us good luck for our next year. And actually, you keep the seeds of the grapes or maybe the lentils still dry within your wallet. It brings good luck. And also, we usually put clothes according to the colors and desires that we have for our next year. So for example, if you want passion, you should wear red. If you want peace, a person would wear white. Even black would bring changes and so on and so forth. So those are some curiosities that we have in Brazil. And last but not least, jumping over the sea. I know. Oh, sorry. I should have looked up for this word, but actually, when the waves. Sorry, the waves. You jump over 7 waves to bring you good luck in your next year. So those are some curiosities and some common sense actions that we take here in Brazil for good luck in New Year's Eve. Now, going to our second part in our meeting, we're actually going to the table topics. And let me see. Table topics, as we have stated, is actually the section in which the speakers are gonna deliver impromptu speeches, and they are delivered according to themes and to questions that are presented by our table topics master. And our table topics master of this evening is someone from other country as well. It's Teresa. Teresa, are you already with us? Well, I guess not yet. Let me just, well, Michael, have you received anything from Teresa via email?
I'm just double checking right now. Just a moment.
Thank you.
I did resend her the link as well.
Yes.
But nothing from her, no.
Perfect.
If anything happens, I can share an activity. I can improvise one in her place.
Yeah, if you could just start, I will try to reach out for Teresa, João, and you could start, please.
Just give me 1 second. So let's start sharing my screen to do so. This is an impromptu table topics, so I'll take another one that I already did before, and let's have some fun. Today I did this table topics. It's about a story, so everyone that will come here, you start connecting past experience with the other one they will have to speak about. Okay, and this story is all about drinks. So in Brazil, we having a great time, especially here. It's summertime now, so it's always speak, and you always have 1 to 2 minutes to have your table topics speech. It's always improvised for the guests. Okay. So here in Brazil, we have a quote that we say, "We never make friends by drinking milk." We never have friends by drinking milk. I would like to ask a volunteer to participate on this first quote. I would like to have Susan, your first me on the camera. Can you participate?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Okay, Susan. So as I mentioned, in Brazil, we said no one makes friends by drinking milk. Explain me your strategy to having friends by drinking milk, but inside a Brazilian carnival.
Wow. With the Brazilian Carnival, by the lovely picture there, it reminds me of Mardi Gras in the Deep South. Now in Mardi Gras, this is a big excuse to have a cup like this, typically filled with your choice of alcoholic beverages. But in this situation, I would definitely have it filled with milk, because as you can see, my cup is not see-through. As long as I do not leave a milk mustache, then I am very grateful. Therefore, no one is the wiser that I am drinking milk while hanging out at Carnival and hopefully making some friends. Now, grant you right now with the corona, this would not be advisable to do, but hopefully once corona has passed, then we can all unite. Looks like everyone in the picture is having fun. I can be getting my calcium, and no one is the wiser. Mr. Table Topics Master.
I love it. Excellent. And very nice strategy, by the way. But I have to tell you, it's hard to make friends with drinking milk, especially inside Brazilian carnival. So I believe people still kept drinking as hell. For a second volunteer, Mr. Todd, you're the second one in my screen. I have to call people that are on my screen. Can you participate?
Sure.
Todd from Canada. This guy on the picture is one of the Vila Olimpia Toastmasters members. And as you see, he's not here in this meeting. He's traveling around Brazil at this same time. Your job is convince Carlos, which is his name, to stop traveling and join us on this special meeting.
Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, friends from around the world, and Carlos, what are you doing? I see that you want to be in the States with a San Francisco hat and you got the Patriots on your chest, but hey, this meeting is intense. Find the quickest cafe you can. I know it's a little hard out in the desert, but if you can find maybe one of those traveling caravans, they might be able to hook you up with a sat phone and a computer. Just log in. You are missing some of the best info on Toastmasters. I know you're a member. I know you've drunk the Kool-Aid, but this is the time when you can get on, network with your fellow members, have a great festive time, and give gratitude to those who have helped you to become successful, and the confidence you have to get out there by yourself in the solo trek across looks like the sand dunes. I know you're on that 180 kilometer run. I have a couple of friends in Toastmasters who are all into this Ironman stuff, but you know what? You need to give yourself some time. Just sit down, find that caravan, have a little coffee, like I'm going to have in a moment because I'm a little hyper because I haven't had any sleep yet. And we're going to get together. I mean, you know, I love you, Carlos, but you got to get on this meeting. Otherwise, our friendship's over, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thanks a lot, Todd. Very thoughtful message for our friend Carlos. By the way, I just texted your message to him, and he was quick enough to send us his answer, which was, "Meh, he's quick traveling." But okay, we're not very successful even to bring friends within this session, but we are perseverance. And let's go to have a job in Disneyland. I would like to ask a volunteer on this next one, or I should pick one. In my screen, I see Amanda Mary Boyle. Can you participate?
Sure.
Okay, Amanda, you just got a new job on Disneyland. And now you need to but it's not a job itself on Disneyland. It's your negotiation. You start in a beverage company. Remember, it's all about drinking. And you are negotiation with them to have your brand as the only single drinking, regardless for parents, regardless for kids. Okay? So you need to negotiate with Disneyland to accept your drinking as the only one. By the way, your drinking is on number 7 whiskey. Jack Daniels.
Well, that's a very, very interesting question. And that is going to be a tall order to get the happiest place on earth, this wonderful family-friendly wonderland, to serve only whiskey. I think what I would need to do as the whiskey distiller is I would need to not just have one whiskey, but to perhaps create a line of whiskeys. So think about it, like Coke doesn't just sell Coke, they sell Diet Coke, they sell 7-Up. I'm not sure if it's 7-Up or Sprite, but they have that. They have connections with other drinks. So instead of just having one single whiskey, I think I will have a slight line of whiskeys. And then what I would do is probably do just a little bit of market research. And for that, what I would do is actually call my parents, because believe it or not, for about 6 months out of the year, my parents actually live at Disney World. Even in times of coronavirus, my parents are still pretty much living at Disney World. So I would ask them and ask them to ask their friends, hey, what do you guys think of whiskey? And get a little bit of feedback from the people actually going to Disney about what they want in a drink, why they like whiskey, and why they'll like my whiskey. So when I can come to Disney with a full product line and market research from their own customers, I think it would be very, very difficult for them to turn me down. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thanks a lot, Amanda. I see you develop very good skills to start negotiation with Disneyland, and they accept your offer. But I have to tell the consumption of alcohol within kids is sky high, and they have to drop your offer after just 1 month. Sorry about that. Next one, I'd like to speak about Toastmasters International Speech Contest. A volunteer? Or should I pick another one? I will call from Michael Ball, one of the organizers. You may know about Toastmasters International Speech Contest, right? Michael?
Mr. Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters from around the world, the Toastmasters International Speech Contest is the pinnacle of competitive public speaking. What's so special about this event, and one of the reasons I truly love it, is the fact that from the first level in the club to the International World Championships, we have our Toastmasters bond keeping us together. We watch many sports, for example, around the world, where people are fighting, arguing, competing, getting angry, emotions are high. But at the World Championship of Public Speaking, emotions are high because of the excitement and the beautiful stories we hear, but not because we look at each other as enemies. We look at each other as friends. I remember one of our district champions feeling so emotional after competing in the semifinals, because when they did their practice prior to the contest, the people she was competing against were running around the ballroom, making sure that she could be seen and heard from all corners of that ballroom. So my friends, that is the spirit of Toastmasters. No matter if you're in the club competing or you're competing to be the world champion of public speaking, you are able to share and enjoy each other's company. Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thanks, Michael, for a very nice explanation about the speech contest that we have. And a curious story, because Michael took part of that, but he was dismissed. Why? He learned with the Brazilians a recipe, very good recipe about whiskey and Red Bull, and he sent for one of the contestants. And unfortunately, this contestant passed away, and unfortunately, he had to be dropped from the event. I believe I still have time for at least one more, and I'd like to have someone that will work in the committee of Donald Trump. I'd like to ask Teresa. Teresa? I will explain your job. Teresa, despite all this thing that happened to now, and in a successful Toastmaster experience, try to call your friend, you still got a job on Donald Trump conference, Donald Trump team. But you need to convince him to invest in a new beverage in order to save America's economy. The name of the beverage is Cuba Libre.
Cuba Libre?
Cuba Libre.
Okay. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and all that's on call here today. I am the executive administrative manager for our President Trump. I've got to go into this office this morning again and try to convince President Trump about this Kalubidi drink. Mr. President, may I have just a moment with you? Thank you. We have gone back and forth through the legislative body concerning passing the bill to allow the public to have this Cuba Libre drink. What's going on now is that we are having opposition from our conservative parties that are vehemently against circulating this Cuba Libre drink to the public. You know that I know, because we've had the Food and Drug Administration here to run tests to determine the toxicity against the health benefits for the population. We have people that have asthma, we have people that have heart conditions, and if we realize this is not something that we take as acetylsalicylic acid, just an aspirin to heal the body, it not only will cause toxicity of the brain, but it can cause paralysis. Do you understand, Mr. President? I need to ask you one more time before I send this legislative piece of material to Congress to be voted upon. And you know that the election is over. Let's do the right thing and save America. Save those who need to be saved. If we don't, you will not have the opportunity in 4 years to even think about running, Mr. President. You've been disappointed and devastated now. Let's wait this time out and do the right thing and pass this bill for this Cuba Libre. Mr. Toastmaster, Table Topics Master.
My microphone was muted. Thanks a lot, Teresa. Trying to send our negotiating skills with President Trump and he sent a word for you, and unfortunately he didn't accept your offer, and he said no, United States doesn't deserve that. And of course the economy collapsed, and he said thanks, pal.
Mr. Biden will.
I know some people are also asking to take part of that. Unfortunately, my time has run out. I'm passing the word back to Raquel, which is our Toastmaster of this afternoon. Raquel, stage is yours. Back again.
Well, Madam Timer, can you please provide the timing reports for all our impromptu speeches today?
Thank you again. Another grateful moment full of laughter. We had 5 amazing participants for the table topics. The first speaker spoke for 1 minute and 22 seconds. The second speaker, 1 minute and 9 seconds. That was Todd. Speaker number 3, Amanda, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Michael, 1 minute and 31 seconds. That was speaker number 4. And Teresa, 2 minutes and 21 seconds, all within the time frame of 2 to 3 minutes, of 1 to 2 minutes for table topics with 30 seconds wrap up. Thank you.
Perfect. Have you got the first speaker name, Jennifer or João, because we're putting up the vote counting?
I apologize. I missed the name and I did not have enough time to ask you that in the private chat.
No problem. João?
Susan. Raquel.
Sorry?
It was Susan.
It was Susan.
Yeah.
Susan.
I was correct, and I had a question mark next to Suzanne. Thank you so much for the team.
Thank you. Perfect. And thank you everybody who embarked on this amazing journey of delivering the impromptu speeches. Now we have the voting. So please, Madam Timer, can you please put 1 minute on the clock so we can put up the vote? And Lucas, the link is here.
Just a second, guys. And here's the link. So please vote, everyone. We had so many funny speeches, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'd like to take this moment also to thank once again everyone from these different districts that agreed to support us in this meeting. So Karen and Stephen and Theresa and Jennifer. And also we're gonna have an evaluation of the table topics also by CJ. So, and Michael, who made it all possible, who promoted this this event. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming with us in this journey. It has been amazing. And it's only beginning. We still have 1 section to go.
It's time for the poll close. We have exceeded 1 minute.
Perfect. So guys, I'm closing the poll for now. Thank you for the votes. And now I'm gonna speak about the last but not least year-end holiday. And you would ask me, why is Carnival the last holiday you mentioned? It's not year-end. It actually happens in February or March from each year, but it's a common saying here in Brazil that the year only starts after the carnival, because we have the 2 months in between the year end and the actual carnival that are kind of numb months. And it's unusual saying. We know that the year is starting and we have several demands from work and so on and so forth. But Carnival is one of the biggest, if not the biggest party in Brazil. And I think you are all aware, or you may have heard of the Carnival in Rio de Janeiro with the parades and so on and so forth. But I'm actually sharing a picture of Salvador's Carnival, which is a street festival. My family is actually from Bahia. João, our president, is also from there. And it's one amazing party. He used it in the table topics. I definitely recommend you to go there if you have the chance. It's one for you to remember your whole life. When we can, right? And after that, you can start your year. Now we move for the third part of our meeting, which are the evaluations. And we have our speech evaluators who are going to provide the feedback for our prepared speeches. And I'd like to invite Sofia Assis from our club to give the feedback to Cibele. Sofia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Raquel. So first of all, I would like to congratulate Cibele on her great speech. It's such an interesting topic and really important to be shared with everyone, especially these days. So thank you very much for your speech. I think, first of all, I feel like your speech are always really clear. You have great pronunciation and you have very clear speaking. So it's really easy for us to understand what you're saying during your speech. She asked me to be aware of her pronunciation in some words. So I'm going to tell you which were the words I felt like maybe we can work a little bit on the pronunciation, even though I'm also not the best person to say them. So maybe Native Americans can help us with this. But the words I felt like maybe we can train a little bit is engaged, average, empathy, and encourage. So these were the main words I felt like you could work on improving. But overall, you have really good pronunciation in your words. Regarding vocal variety, I felt like maybe we can work a little bit on that, because during your speech, you had like a regular tone during all the speech, and maybe use this vocal variety to give impact to some important step of your speech. You were great with eye contact in the beginning of your speech. Your camera was a little bit down in your head, so I couldn't really see your eyes. But then, I don't know if you stepped back and I could see you right away, and you were really all looking to the camera all the time. So that was really good to engage with everyone. I think you lost yourself 2 times during the speech. And something that I read about is that maybe when you're practicing for a speech, always try to practice in topics and not like memorizing the speech. So this way, it's easier for you not to get lost during the speech. And if you do, you can get back to it faster. And it's also important to say that we don't know what is the sequence of your speech. So if you get lost, maybe not say sorry. You said sorry, for example. If you like stay quiet and try to remember where you need to get back to, we won't even notice that you forgot what were the next words. So maybe if you lose yourself, just try to make a pause, look at the camera, try to think where to start again and go for it. We won't even know that you were forgetting something. So I think those are the 2 tips I saw on the internet that could help you when practicing your speech. Regarding your speed during the speech, you were fast in the beginning, but then when you felt more comfortable, you started going in a regular pace. So overall, I think those are the comments. You did very well regarding you're on a speech with 100 seeing your second speech. So well done, Sibeli. Thank you very much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you, Sophia, for this evaluation. I believe it's your first one, right? So congratulations for it. It was spot on, and very many people actually mentioned it in the chat. So congratulations. Madam Timer, can you please put up 30 seconds for feedback for Sophia as well on her evaluation? Let's remember that evaluations are also speeches, so Sophia will appreciate your feedbacks. Perfect. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Now we move on to our second evaluation. It will be delivered by our by Stephen Cirello, and he is actually one member. Let me get this straight. He is a member of Experience French in London, and we are very grateful once again for having you with us. Can you please deliver your evaluation on Enzo's speech? Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Madam Toastmaster, and thank you, Enzo, for that wonderful speech. First of all, it's a very timely topic nowadays. We're all concerned about this, the environment. So speaking to an international audience, I think it was particularly effective, something that touches upon us all. Also, you're working from the leadership series, and we need someone to take the lead on this. If you want to change the world, if you want to change human behavior, you have to be a leader. So I think you chose the right path, the right series. I thought that your speech, and again, it's all my opinion as your evaluator, I thought that your speech was well organized and it flowed very well. You started with the economic system, how we perpetuate this waste. Then you move to human behavior and how we can change through our own behavior. And that's important because what you did in that section and in your conclusion was you listed three things: the circular motion, the circular system. And in doing so, you gave us a call to action. And I think in a speech such as yours, a call to action is key because you're telling us to do something, how we can make the change. I also think going circular, reduce, reuse, recycle. And you also inadvertently or intentionally use the Toastmaster rule of three. And we love those three items together at Toastmasters. You spoke with enthusiasm, and this is also important, enthusiasm and conviction. We believed what you had to say. We could tell you were passionate about it. And that's very important for us to believe you and for us to follow your call to action. Also, I think you projected very well. You spoke at a steady pace, easy enough for us to follow. And this was important because you included data, you included facts, you include statistics. It wasn't simply opinion. So I think the fact that you spoke at a steady pace was important. Here's what you might consider, in my opinion, if you give this speech again. First, I wouldn't tell the audience that you're going to ask a question, simply ask it. Start with a punch, a powerful question. Do you know how much we waste every year? Something like that. Also, I would personalize it. And I think, I might have missed it, but personalize it in a way, we're using solar energy, or here's our blender, something that brings it home to your family. And finally, it was somewhat of a research project. it had a lot of research. I would include one reference. For example, when you're citing data, maybe say according to the United Nations Environmental Agency or something of that sort. Otherwise, wonderful speech. I think we're all on board with you. We are grateful to you, and so is Mother Nature. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Very well applicable and very nice tips from the evaluation. Thank you very much. Madam Timer, can you please consider 30 seconds for Stephen's feedback? Stephen, were you aware of any of our traditions that I shared from the holidays? Were you aware of Brazil? What you had an idea of Brazil before?
Yes, actually, Madam Toastmaster, I've been dying to visit Brazil during Carnival. I used to work for an export company, and I traveled pretty extensively throughout Brazil, but I've never been there for New Year's or Carnival or any holidays. So yes, what you said about Bahia, the northern traditions are of interest, and I do hope to visit one day and attend your beautiful Carnival ceremonies.
Perfect. Thank you once again, and enjoy your feedbacks. We move on to our third evaluator, which is Karen White. The floor is yours.
Immediate feedback is what sets Toastmasters above and beyond other speaking organizations. And I was so grateful to be asked to be an evaluator for this particular meeting. It is my honor to evaluate Zoel's speech, Feedback Masters. Evaluations are really just our way of how we interpreted the speech. So everybody in here, almost 100 people, will all have your speech, Zoel, but I'm going to give you mine. And I want to just start out by saying you did a fantastic job. You have what I have always referred to as good bones. You have those wonderful building blocks that Toastmasters need. You had great eye contact. You were very confident in your position and how you said things. You had very good vocal variety, and you had absolutely wonderful gestures. I am so happy to say that your delivery was spot on. The other thing that an evaluator is supposed to look at, other than delivery, is the speech content. And I thought you did an excellent job in taking a very technical type of speech, one that was very laden with data and information, and putting it into a format that felt like you and I were sitting across the table from each other and just having a cup of coffee or maybe rum and Coke. And you gave me the experience that you came across with your project. It is the ultimate for a Toastmaster to be able to present in a way that we feel like we're the only other person in the room. And I felt like you did that. Were there some areas I thought that you could improve on? Only one really stood out for me, and that was your camera placement. Right now, as I'm looking at you, you are perfectly within your square, and you are in the exact spot you should be. But when you stood up, you had your camera pointing up towards you, and those wonderful gestures that you gave sometimes blocked your face. So I would suggest that if you're going to give this speech again and you give it in a standing position, somehow move your monitor up, your camera up, so that when we see you the entire time. Again, you did a fantastic job, and I want to come back so I can hear you speak again. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Karen. Amazing evaluation, very good feedbacks. Well, João is very experienced, so I guess it was a challenge. But with your experience as well, I trust it was an amazing feedback for João to benefit from. So, Madam Timer, can you please provide the report for our evaluators?
Yes, I can. Evaluator number 1, Sophia, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Evaluator number 2, Stephen, 3 minutes and 13 seconds. And evaluator number 3, Karen, 3 minutes and 14 seconds, all within their time.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Jennifer. So we're gonna have 1 minute now for the voting. And meanwhile, I'd like to request of all of you to provide feedback for our last evaluator, Karen. So please use the chat also to provide the feedback and make sure to provide your vote. Okay? Perfect. Thank you so much, Jennifer. We are now closing up the last pool and we move forward to our evaluations of the evening. So the first one that I'm gonna call is actually our table topics evaluator, CJ. Can you please provide the feedbacks regarding our table topics speeches?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I've actually never done a table topics evaluation before. In my club, we don't do those. So I wasn't quite sure what angle to take on this, but due to the fact that this is virtual, I want to spend a little bit of time on each evaluator, but a lot of time on how they present themselves visually, because that's really critical in this virtual world that we're all living in today. But first of all, let me start off by saying I thought Susan did a really good job. She was very professional in shifting the conversation immediately to something she understood because the question wasn't something she was familiar with. So shifting to Mardi Gras was a brilliant move. I love the fact that she held a professional image during the time when she had a gap in thought. That is something that very few people can handle. So congratulations on that. Todd was very excited. He told us about the coffee and staying up late. But the fact is, unfortunately, when we're in an international situation as this is, we can't talk too fast because not everyone can understand us clearly. So we need to be able to slow down. Todd, your enthusiasm, absolutely. Your camera angle was probably one of the best, and your lighting was really good as well. Interestingly enough, you could raise your camera just a little bit, and I'll get more into that in a little bit here. Amanda, great presence, really excellent as far as your pacing and your clarity. It was really an amazing presentation that you gave. Unfortunately, your camera angle was so skewed that you looked a little bit distorted. In fact, why don't I just share real briefly, if you're looking at your back walls on your camera and they're angled like this instead of straight up and down, that tells you that the camera is too low and it's probably looking up your nose, or we're seeing your ceiling. Ceilings should never be seen when talking on video cameras, never. Now you're saying, well, what if it's a full length shot? Well, show us more of the floor, not the ceiling. You want to make sure you look good. Your camera should be at eye level or just a little bit higher. Moving on to Michael, again, very clear. A little bit of distortion because you were so close to your camera, your face was distorted. You have to remember that most of these cameras are wide angle lenses, which make us look weird if we get too close to the camera. So you want to back off. As far as your comments and everything, very professional. You did a great job from that standpoint. I think that your calmness and soothing voice was really accentuated well when you used vocal variety. So that combination made you a really impressive speaker for us to listen to. But again, figure out that camera because it was too close. We couldn't even see your gestures if you had any. Teresa, oh my gosh. Talking about being able to stay professional in the mode. I don't know if people realize how controversial that question is, at least for people from the United States, where half the country can't stand the name Trump and the other half loves it. It makes no sense that we are so split on something like that. But to handle a controversial question like that as calmly and professionally as you did, that was absolutely fantastic. You did a great job doing that. It's very hard to speak on a topic that you have to make sure you don't offend either half of your audience. And of course, internationally, I have no clue what people's thoughts are of how they perceive what's been happening in the United States. But certainly you did a very good job being careful like that. All of you probably need to consider your lighting. You need to consider your camera position. If you have too much headroom, it really looks unprofessional. You need just enough headroom that you can put your hand above your head most of the time. If you're in a longer shot or standing back further, feel free to go down to just below your pants pockets on the camera. If you need to do full length to the feet, then you're going to have to show the floor. But again, do not show the ceiling. As far as focus goes, take time to find out where your camera is in focus and out of focus. Not all cameras can handle all the distances. So you want to practice that before you get onto your next virtual call. Lighting is critical. Ideally, you want 3 lights. You want one separating your shoulders and head from your background so you stand out. You want a strong light on one side of your face and a weaker light on the other side of your face, so that you have a very, what I'll call a romantic type look. That way people can see who you are and they can see your personality. So those are things to give consideration to. But overall, the table topics were wonderful. Each person had certain strengths that really came across, I thought, in a very professional manner. And boy, kudos to any of you who had to really overcome something because in those impromptu moments, you did a great job. Thank you. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, CJ. Wow, amazing report for your first experience. Very nice, very useful feedbacks. And now we move on to our counter. Trisha, can you please provide your feedback to the team?
Hello, everyone. First, congratulations to all the speakers of today. You were all delivering an amazing speech. And I will start with our report of today's meeting. And as a first note, I would like to share with you the most used filler word or sound of the night. That was or an. which I believe that, especially for non-native English speakers, it might happen often. And since we don't know sometimes the exactly word to use during this an unprepared speech, especially, we tend to use this sound until we can remember the actual word we were going to say. So starting with the formal speeches, I would like to say that during the speeches you all did very well. So considering Cibele and Enzo and João, it shows that you were all very prepared and you practiced a lot your speeches. So Cibele used twice once so, and once but. Enzo said once and once but. And João only said once during his speech. And out of the speech contest, Enzo used 9 times while he was answering the Raquel's question. And he also used to express himself and trying maybe to remember what the answer he was going to say. And João said 4 times and 1 time so, also out of the speech context. During the table topics, I took also notes from all the speakers, and Susan, our first table topics speaker, she said once well. Todd used once and but twice, and as a different expression he said also Amanda said once and so twice. Michael and Teresa, at least I couldn't hear anything, so very good, great job. For our meeting participants who took important roles, I would like to start with Sophia, as her first time as evaluator. She did very well, but I believe due to the nervousism, perhaps she said she used 13 times, while she used once and like she used twice. Stephen Cirello used 4 times and twice so. Karen, I couldn't hear any filler words, and CJ used 6 times And last but not least, our Toastmaster of the day, Raquel. Until now, I could count 21 us, 1 1 well, and 2 so's. I didn't count myself, but probably I used a lot of uns, so I'm sorry for that. And for today, that's the report, and congratulations once again for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. That's amazing. And that's improvement, right? We are always improving. Now, please, our grammarian, Lucas, can you please provide your feedback?
Thank you, Raquel, and fellow Toastmasters. To begin with, I'll start with our Toastmaster of the day, Rachel or Raquel. I'll be a little bit picky with our Brazilian speakers, but let's go anyways. She said, give feedback via the chat. I think it would be better to say through the chat or using the chat. She usually says the pool when she's talking about the votings. So the correct pronunciation would be the poll. A good use of English is so on a forth. It's a good expression. And she also said, give the feedback once, but we know that feedback is a non-countable word. And moving on to Cibele. Cibele used the word of the day. Raquel also did it, congratulations. I'm very grateful for you and all of you who did it. She said another pronunciation mistake would be accept as instead of accept. And she also said the company needs, but company as the taker of the action, so it will be the company's needs. He also used great expressions such as how do I foster diversity, has only to gain, and among peers, good expressions, congratulations. Moving on to Sophia, she also used and gave some pronunciation tips, congratulations for that. Stephen, as an evaluator, used the word of the day. He said great expressions such as timely topic and brings home in the means of remembering. Karen also used the word of the day, congratulations. Another good expression was tremendous asset, and he is also to share, that is a small inversion, also pretty good. CJ used shifting the conversation to something new, another great expression. I don't know what that means exactly, but so congratulations for that. Speak on the topic, and if you need to go full length, also great expressions. Trisha said delivering an amazing speech, but I think it would be better. She was on the plural, so I think it would be better to say delivering amazing speeches. So use the word of the day. He said the expression main pillar, which I didn't know also could be used in English. Congratulations for that. Ruthless stimulus, nice expression. One pronunciation mistake would be recipe instead of recipe when talking about a recipe, something that you will do. Do better choices. It's kind of wrong. It would be better to say to make or take better choices. And speech skills, I would prefer to use speaking skills. So a few pronunciation mistakes, such as colleague instead of colleague, and make people new. It would be better to say to make people know. And you repeated the word should not a few times when finishing your speech, so you could maybe try some different expressions. Moving on to our table topic speakers, we have Susan. Great pronunciation, great use of the word of the day, congratulations. Todd used hook you up and drank the Kool-Aid. I got that expression. It's not very common for us, but I got it. Amanda used something on a tall order and not just to have, pretty good version. Michael Baum said the pinnacle of public speaking when referring to Toastmaster, great expression. And Theresa, to be voted upon, great use. And I think that's all for us, everybody. Great use of English, such a hard job to evaluate of you, native speakers. And thank you very much. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you so much. And last but not least, our general evaluator, Victor, can you please provide your feedback for the afternoon?
Thank you, Raquel. Of course, given the time constraints, I'm going to be commenting on the meeting as a whole and not individually. Thank you so much for everybody who showed up to this meeting. I'm really grateful that I was able to take part in this. I'm also grateful for everybody who organized it, because we turned trying times into a truly international experience. It really gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling when talking about this meeting, because it was really emotional to be able to see the chat filled with comments from people all over the world in a very friendly and warm nature that Toastmasters members always have. Toastmasters is not very known here in Brazil, but now I'll be able to say I participated in an event that started in Japan and ended up in Hawaii. I mean, really amazing. Over 100 people watching a speech really adds challenge to even the most experienced speakers. So it's an invaluable opportunity for everybody. And this is especially true for us non-native speakers to be participating in a meeting with native speakers and people from all over the world, it really gives us a lot of anxiety, but also an opportunity to improve and just improve our public speaking skills. Just commenting on the chat, great interaction. People are like Enzo for president, also commenting reuse, reduce, recycle. It was really a worldwide moment about saving Mother Earth. Also, non-Portuguese speakers commenting obrigada and Feliz Natal. Just going on Google Translate just to comment something in Portuguese also was really, really heartwarming. People wishing for happy holidays and talking about where they're from. And one suggestion that I have here, I saw a lot of people commenting that their club is open for everybody. If somebody could just pool all of those emails so that we can just have, I don't know, a centralized page so that we can just message a lot of clubs and we can participate in this international experience, that would be great. I just really love if somebody could do that. Overall, just really the break, Todd suddenly talked about how they record workshops with tips on public speaking at his club, and people were just exchanging tips about Toastmasters. So it was really a cultural exchange. I'm really happy for everybody. I'm not going to be able to comment individually on people's performance here, but just really, I can't say that enough. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for you guys to have organized this. I really recommend we just do this at least once a year. I loved it, and now I can't get enough of it. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great one.
Thank you, Victor. Amazing. Definitely one amazing experience. And now we move on to our prizes. Mr. Vote Counter and also our grammarian, Lucas, can you please share the winners of the afternoon?
Of course. Yes, actually it's afternoon here. But moving on, we have the winners of today. And to start with, we have the best evaluator. So let's hear the drums. And so the best evaluator of this meeting was Karen Light. Congratulations, Karen. Great evaluation, great feedback for all of us. Well done. And moving on, we had the best table topics. So many competitors and only one winner, which was Teresa. Congratulations, Teresa, being neutral while talking to Trump, such a challenge. And finally, the best speaker of this session. Of the three speakers, actually we had a tie. So congratulations to both of you, Enzo and João. Awesome job, great speeches. And thank you everybody for voting. I'm grateful for all of you. And thank you very much. Back to you, Raquel.
Thank you, Lucas. And thanks once again for everyone who was here with us today. It was an amazing experience to have this meeting. I'm living in the background, but I can also share via chat our contacts. And it was a pleasure to be with you all. Now, back to Mr. President, João.
Thanks, Raquel. And please, I would like to ask you a big round of applause to her job today as a Toastmaster of this session. So please, a big round of applause to Raquel Rodriguez. She deserves a lot. All these people took part of that. Guys, really thank you for all to invite us to take part of holidays around the world. Thanks, Michael Ball, for organizing all these events to strengthen our community, to take the possibility of making online meetings throughout the world and connect Toastmasters worldwide. Thanks a lot for inviting us. And for us, it was a pleasure to represent Brazil inside this session. Though Brazilians are known to be friendly, a friendly country, very diverse culture, very famous for sports, for culture, for music. I hope you got a little taste about what our friendly environment are, how good we can perform, how can we start forcing things. And please, whoever wants to join one of our meetings, we've shared some information how to contact us. And please enjoy this experience, enjoy to be part of this huge network worldwide. Toastmasters is It's a place where leaders are made. And the more you put in Toastmasters, the more you get in return. I learned this quote from my first session of all, and it always kept in my heart, in my mind, and always make me go further. Toastmasters, the more you get, the more you put, the more you get in return. Now it's time to finish this meeting from Vila Olimpia Toastmasters, and for me, it's my job to pass the word to Bahamas, District 47. I'd like to ask with our Toastmaster Trevin Paul is online from Police Dynamic Enforcers Club. How are you online? Because it's time to share my virtual gavel to you.